Hey everybody, it's Subby. Good Sunday morning to you. Beautiful 73 degrees out there this morning. So we finally all survived the heat wave last week. Man, it was one for the record books. So from high temperatures, there was about 72 records broken in the Midwest. Um, Several of them in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and those were just high temperatures. I know there were several low temperatures, being the highest, lowest temperature records that were shattered with lows down into the 82, 83 degrees for the low temperatures. So just one for the record books last week for temperatures, but we are on the other side of that now. That dome of high pressure that we've been talking about all last week has weakened and kind of collapsed on itself, moved off to the west over Arizona, and that allows for a northwest flow to trickle down into the Midwest and into west central Missouri, lowering the moisture content, which obviously is our humidity. Our dew points have dropped and will continue to drop as we go into next week up until about Thursday and Friday. Then we begin another southwest flow, bringing up a little bit more moisture, a little bit more heat from the southwest and from the Gulf of Mexico. Uh, and we will heat back up next weekend into the mid 90s, but nothing close to what we had here over the last 7 to 10 days. So today we're looking at highs in the low 80s. Beautiful day. Humidity very, very low. We have dew points now back into the lower 60s compared to in the 80s last week. So just a beautiful day to get out and enjoy. We are under some overcast skies right now. That'll probably give away to some sunshine as we head into the afternoon. Tomorrow, and again, more of the same for tomorrow. We're going to be looking at high right around 82 degrees again after a low of 61, which is just fantastic. Our AC units are finally getting a little bit of a break. Hopefully, some windows will be open this week and give some much needed rest to our air conditioners and to the pets and to our neighbors and ourselves. So, very, very good news. What I want to take a minute this morning, since we're kind of in this holding pattern. There's not going to be much going on here in the next week or so, weather-wise, in west central Missouri. However, there's going to be some big impacts as we head into next week of a current tropical depression, number 10, that's down off of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, that is scheduled to become a tropical storm later on today or tonight, and then eventually as a hurricane as it slams into the Florida Panhandle, and sometime on late Tuesday night into Wednesday. I've been for about the last 3 hours. I've been looking at a lot of models, looking at a lot of the information that is out there, and it's quite threatening for the Florida coast up near the Panhandle. And I'll show you why here in just a moment. Let's take a look at satellite. And of course, we have tropical depression number 10 down off the tip of Mexico. We also have a very strong hurricane out in the Atlantic, Hurricane Franklin, that is currently a Category 1 with 85 mile per hour winds. It is actually expected to go into a major hurricane, Category 4, with 130 miles per hour winds as it begins its turn back out into the Atlantic, coming dangerously close to Bermuda. However, it will not have any effect on U.S. soil. What I want to do, I want to focus on this tropical depression. right here. And as we head into this thing has been actually kind of sagging a little bit further to the south. And the main reason is because right in this area right here, there's no steering mechanism right now. It's pretty much what I call dead water, meaning that there's nothing steering. It's just sitting down there, just trying to organize a little bit, and it's going to stay that way until we have a little bit of a depression that will be heading down. Actually, our weather maker that we had yesterday and the day before, as it goes down to the southeast and out into the Gulf of Mexico, this disturbance down here is actually going to be the steering winds that's going to propel this depression further north. Tuesday, 1 p.m., it's showing at a Category 1, 85 mile per hour winds. And let's zoom in here just a little bit. Wednesday at 1 a.m., 90 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane before it slams into the coast right here in this nook of Florida, just to the east of Tallahassee. However, what I am seeing is that kind of depends on what this depression does out here in the Gulf of Mexico. This does have the possibility of even growing into a Category 2 storm. The waters down here are extremely warm, extremely volatile, and can, we're not looking at a whole bunch of space between when it's a tropical storm and when it slams into Florida. If this thing slows down any at all from current model projection, it could easily, you give it another 10, 12, 24 hours and it can intensify into a Category 2, possibly even a Category 3. But even at a Category 2 or a Category 3 hurricane slamming in right at this location can really prove havoc on the coastlines of Florida. So if anybody has any interest, any family, any kids going to school down in that area, please let them know that I really haven't seen. They're talking about maybe a tropical storm, possibly getting up to 75 mile an hour, hitting into Florida. But I do believe that there is a strong likelihood that this could actually be a fairly major hurricane that will slam into Florida come sometime middle of next week. So it's definitely something worth keeping tabs on, especially if you have family, friends, or maybe some kids going to school down in Georgia, into Florida, even into southeastern Alabama. This thing is actually has really, I guess the projections have really grown just in the last 24 hours, because as this comes onto the coast, it was supposed to weaken considerably, turn into a tropical depression. But as of right now, they're still showing this as being a tropical storm as it goes through Georgia, South Carolina, before it eventually works its way back out into the Atlantic. So it seems like as time goes by, it seems like the projections continue to get a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger. And I'm going to show you a couple things that I've been looking at. Bring this over here. So, and again, this here is our tropical depression number 10, right down here off the coast of Mexico. And I'm going to put this into motion. Right now the pressure 29.6, and as we move into, say, Monday, it continues to strengthen and begins its northward track as it's being picked up by that disturbance into the Gulf of Mexico, and it will begin to pick up speed. But the latest data, darn pop-ups, the latest data actually has this coming in at a 28.86 pressure low, which is extremely low. That's probably going to be equivalent to a strong Category 2 hurricane. And now it does move it just a hair to the west into the Panhandle, which it's gonna create some very damaging storm surge right here in this little nook of Florida. So definitely something we need to be paying attention to. I will be watching this for all the way through the week, and especially since West Central Missouri is going to be under the influence of a high pressure system with beautiful weather, no storms in our area. So I will be watching this. I have updated the website. I did put a post on that earlier in the group. I have added some local Florida forecast as well as some videos on what to expect. And that is, you can find them all under maps and models and weather news under the website. So just kind of a heads up. And again, if you guys have any family or friends down in that area, please let them know and have them take this seriously, as this does have the potential to have some very major impacts on the Florida coast. So I will continue. I might have another video, another live feed coming up on Tuesday once we have a little bit better handle on what to expect here. Right now, the National Hurricane Center, as far as their predictions as of this morning, as 7 a.m., they're showing it to become a hurricane in the Gulf around 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and then being just off the coast 1 a.m. on Wednesday, and then hitting the Florida coastline sometime on early Wednesday morning around the 7 to 8 a.m. range. So that is the Hurricane Center projection as of 7 a.m. this morning. And I will be updating the maps and models on the website if you want to kind of follow along. I will also have videos of some local weather forecasts down in Florida. A lot of times you can get a lot of up-to-the-minute weather information from the local news down around in the Tallahassee area and into Florida. So I will be posting them for anybody that might want to kind of follow this along as we head into Wednesday. So again, a beautiful day here Sunday. Get out and enjoy it. Get some yard work done, and we're expecting beautiful weather throughout the week. And then you can follow along as the potential damaging hurricane approaches Florida. Have a great Sunday, everybody.